we'll get started, and Jeff pops in, that'll be great.
Okay.
So I'm still looking for a co-manager if you know anybody, because it's a lot
So,
of work by myself.
Kelly,
Yeah,
Kelly, I had a question.
yeah,
So, if we bring somebody in for one of these roles now,
yeah.
are they going to serve just until the end of the year, or are you just going to have them serve until the end of next year?
We're pretty loose about all this.
Okay.
I will keep them as long as they want to stay. There's not actually a vote kind of thing at this
Unless
point.
somebody else just really wants that role.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember when the elections are. I want to say they're in the spring.
Oh,
Um,
I thought they were like at the end of the year and then for like the next year or something.
Good question.
But
Marcia, do
I
you
will tell
remember?
you that I'll tell you that I want to stay on as secretary
Perfect.
if you all will have me.
Yes, please
I
do.
know I've heard co-manager and assistant co-manager quoted as 2-year terms, but
Yeah,
that's the fond hope.
yeah, that's where we are right now. Yeah. So we're happy to have people. We did, though, this week. I don't think either one of you have seen the emails that come to the leadership. We've had 3 volunteers this week for things, not
Oh,
co-manager, unfortunately. But one person was mentioned water cooler chats, and another person mentioned webmaster, which is good because I don't know if we mentioned that Jeff wants to transition out at the end of the year. So it'd be nice to get someone started, transitioning before that because
Hey,
that's a big decision.
maybe Jeff could transition into co-manager.
Now he's out. He's transitioning out. He's not.
Jeez.
I wish.
the
Yeah.
shine, it isn't as much. It isn't as shiny as it used to be. Yes.
To be co-manager. Or yeah.
No, the webmaster. Webmaster's a
Oh,
big
yeah. Well, and we're
listen.
hoping to make a bunch of changes too, but so
Oh
there's that.
yes.
So I'm hoping this other person can do either fundraiser events or quarterly meetings. And then, the webmaster would have more to talk about if we had,
Oh yes.
some more events. But that's kind of that news. I do also have something that was brought to me on a volunteer basis. If anybody is interested or knows somebody who would be good for this, you may have heard that there's a new STC scholarship, and there's a committee for that, and they were hoping to get a technical editing SIG representative, somebody who's a member of our SIG and that is not a student. The
Mm-hmm.
student would be eligible. So I don't know if either one of you are interested. Or, I don't have a lot of people to choose from right here, but hopefully with the recording, the rest of the committee will hear this as well. It doesn't sound like it's a ton of work. I think there's a meeting a month, and then there's the choosing of the recipients. I think in November when it would get a little busier. It doesn't seem like a really long commitment for that. Um, oh, the end of June is the due date. So that's kind of, if you know of anybody, it's funny because he said, well, if you know anybody who used to be involved in the scholarship you guys used to have, and I was like, well, I managed it at one point, but I can't commit to anything else. So who's the last person who had it? Do you guys remember? I mean, you wouldn't know, Fama. I'm sorry. Marcia, do you remember who was the last person to have the scholarship project? Oh, I lost her again. So Marcia got on early, and she dropped off at some point, and then she came back on, and it's showing me she's offline again. So anyway, so this is all in the recording, and whatever you can put in the minutes would be helpful.
So, okay, let me ask you to repeat something. Okay, so
Okay.
you said you got, you're still looking for a account manager. You did get some bites on some of the other open volunteer positions.
Yeah.
Which ones did you say that people had said they were interested in?
The webmaster
Uh-huh.
and the water cooler chats manager. And then there was another person who wanted to hear what was available. They didn't have one in mind.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping to direct them towards the fundraiser events or the quarterly meetings. But none of them could come today at this time.
Okay.
It's pretty last minute. So, because I've just been talking to them in the last couple of days. So I'm going to have to set up another meeting with them and try to tell them what's involved, and then, try to get this one person to decide. And then the one who wanted they said webmaster, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, we don't have a webmaster. We have a social media person who does the web. So I have to decide, I have to figure out, do they want just to be the webmaster, or do they want to do everything that Jeff does right now? So I have a few discussions to do with that. So it's not all settled, but that's kind of where things are going.
Hi there, I'm back.
I'm so sorry.
Hi.
That's pretty
It
bad.
turns out the dial-in number we have does not work, is no longer workable.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't
The one on the website?
like it.
Okay, I'll write that
It
down.
just, yeah, the message was just, go contact someone and find the right number, very politely. Just before I was thrown off again, I would be interested in serving on the scholarship thing.
Okay.
And if we don't get someone panting for a membership manager, I'll be glad to stay on.
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll let Tim and Lisa know.
Mhm,
I'll
okay.
introduce you guys. So that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you. So other than that, Fatma and I were just, making sure she had it all down, what I said correctly about the open positions.
Yes.
Anybody have anything else about that before I move on? It's not a lot of dissent with such a small group.
I know.
So the treasurer's report, I'm guessing what he has here is up to date. I know that he's on vacation today, and I'm sure if that was me that was going on vacation, I'd probably not be so, quick to update my report. But
I have a question.
yeah.
Is it the membership count at the end of September that determines our pass-through income, or end of
No.
August?
August. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know why the timing is like that, because it really works against us.
It really does, because the reminder was sent in September. The renewals are open. That was sent in September.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that's how they do it. Yeah.
That's if you join in August, it's for. If you join in September, it's for this year and next year. So the last report we had, I've got it up, and
that's next if you want to go ahead and get started
Okay.
with that.
because we grew.
Because Marcia, I have a question.
Sure.
So I was a member previously, and I haven't renewed for 2020,
Mhm.
but I've been a member for however long, and then I'll renew for 2020.
Yeah.
Sometime before the end of this year. So does
Mhm.
that mean that you are getting passed through for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the report I have with the 581, let's see, that was 581. We still get junk. And some of these are renewals. Lovely. Yeah, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of that 581 were 2020 renewals. And that they were done in September is what I'm trying to say. So 581. So we're at 575 as of end of August.
Okay.
Because I ran the report on September 9th. And that way, there was enough time for any late entries to get fully into the system. So I don't know what kind of time lag there might be. Okay, so 575 is not a bad number.
Yeah.
As things go. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't think there's any feedback to the SIGs or the chapters for that matter as to what number they're actually using. I guess it just, when the pass-through number comes 5, divide it by, what is it? I think we get $4 per person. And get a feel, yeah.
I don't remember.
I know I hear these things and then I don't put them in a place where I can go look them up again.
Right.
Okay. The nice thing is we got a bump on gold membership.
Oh, yeah.
That grew as once we take out our students and retired folks and the compensated and corporate values, we're basically half and half. 219 on regular and 219 on gold. So that's good.
Yeah.
And I have this lovely worksheet where I do all the totals. So I keep a running total of everything. So really, yeah, the gold went up 17 from the previous month. So that was a significant bump. Everything else was just 5 or fewer.
Right. Okay. So I see you updated this after I printed it, so I'm just trying to go checking the difference between yours, because I had to do it the night before. I can only do so much.
Yeah, I had it this morning.
So
sorry about that.
So the associate fellow emails.
Yes, I sent those out. I took out the retired membership people because they may not be active at all.
Yeah.
And
yeah, especially already being retired, they haven't got an associate fellow, and then after that is fellow. It just seems like a path you wouldn't bother with.
Because you're not going to keep it up.
Right.
Keep a hand in, but not, yeah. So anyway, 146 people. I have not checked back lately to see if anybody responded to anything.
And when was that? Can I ask how long?
I finally got that out last week.
Okay.
So they've had a little time to think about it. And I did attach the guidelines and the form, and also gave them the link to go to the STC website. So that it's all there on the page for them, so they don't have to figure out where it is.
Good.
And then I keep poking around with team rewards. It'll be ready.
Okay.
Part of that is eventually, let's say this month, everyone who has accrued more than 1 point will get an email. And then all the leadership will get a copy as to where we stand.
Oh, okay. It's like a status.
Yes.
So this month you said, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a squishy number, figuring out, going through Corrigo and we've got I don't know whether you heard me start this. I think I was cut off when I started talking about it. I need to document how this is done, for one thing, in detail.
Okay.
And I need to add the source of the count. Like, how do you know who's helping with Corrigo, who's manning the table at the summit? And we have to tie those to some kind of reporting mechanism. If I'm not on site to see what's going on,
Right.
how do I find out? How does the membership manager find out? So that's in the works as well.
Okay. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anything else? Any questions? Fatma?
So do we get points for serving in leadership roles as well?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And for attending these meetings.
And what benefit comes to us for these with these points?
An Amazon gift card for $10 at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Not that you're doing it for that, of course.
No, actually,
That's why it's not $100.
actually, I'm doing it for the leadership experience.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Well, somebody once said that serving in leadership roles such as these is a way to get some leadership experience that's lower risk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's insignificant, but the risk is a lot lower, and it kind of helps you dip your toe in and figure out, do I want to move in this direction going forward? And it also shows that you do have that experience.
Right. And you get to hang out with cool people.
Absolutely. Who is cooler than another tech editor?
Right. So.
I've been having nervous breakdown reading headline news on the internet.
Oh, geez. I can't.
I actually saw the word spurned used where the word spawned should have been, and I just lost it.
Well, so you know that newspapers are getting rid of their copy disks to save money.
Yep.
This is how I started. I started as a copy editor at a newspaper, and they're getting rid of their copy desks to save money, and it shows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and the thing was, someone actually had a byline for basically poking around with a wire service story. I used to be a journalism major. How do you get a byline for just using other people's work? We used to call it plagiarism, right? Gave no attribution to the source.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I thought,
Really?
the world is lost,
Wow. I think
Really?
that's pretty obvious anyways at this point. It's pretty ugly out there.
I mean, they're not unattainable levels of standards. I don't know.
Well, nobody wants to pay for it, though. It's a problem.
Well, we've been seduced into spending hundreds of dollars on this stupid cable scam. We need, honest to gosh, I think we need universal Wi-Fi and nationalized internet access.
Yeah, that would equalize things. I mean, nobody can get by without it.
Well, I'm down to one PBS and one Fox station if I don't use cable. I can't even watch the debates.
Yeah. I went to a streaming. When I cut off the cable, they offered me a streaming. And that was significantly less expensive than the cable. And I got to pick which channels I wanted.
Oh, that makes it totally worthwhile, yes.
So it was just, it was there was only a certain number, but I didn't even need that many, quite honestly. I just picked some randomly that I thought, it's just because I don't watch that much TV. But I didn't want to get rid of it totally because my husband does like to watch the sports. He kind of got sucked back into watching sports when we got cable for a while. And then, so the streaming, it's much cheaper than cable, but it's from Spectrum. But they call it streaming. It's only a certain number of channels. So you might look into that because you said you had Spectrum, and that's what I have.
Yes.
So if you want a little bit more, but not everything you had, you know, and we
And that
get,
makes
you know, a lot of
sense.
that stuff, you know,
Oh, yeah.
we have, you know, kind of the basic channels, and then the few that I picked that I like Food Network and HGTV.
Well, yes.
But anyways, so
Okay.
moving on. For the programming, the water cooler chats, we don't have anything planned right now, but I am going to talk to somebody in the next few days who's interested in it. So maybe we'll get some of that coming. Fundraiser event, Liat said she did update this, but she doesn't have any news for that yet. And then the quarterly programs, of course, we have Elizabeth Fraley, who's very popular. And not many people have registered, so if you can share what Jeff has posted to your wherever you hang out, you know, LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, that would be great. If you haven't registered, that would be great. She's always fun, you know, even if you don't need to know this kind of information. She's usually fun. So I'm going to do the checklist presentation in January, and Liat's, I guess, still working on December. Any questions, any concerns?
No.
Okay.
Looking forward to Liz's presentation.
Yeah, I just saw her do a style guide one for the TC Dojo, and that was good. Okay, so the CAA, we're supposed to continue tracking information, but I'm still not sure I know how or where to do that. So I should ask around whether we have a Excel somewhere or something. Because I know
question.
Melissa was doing it, right? Before,
yes.
And she kind of dropped off the council or whatever we call ourselves. So yeah, I need to, because especially when we get to the quarterly program, that should probably be listed. That should be documented somewhere. And the water cooler chat I did, a month or two ago, that should be documented. I know I didn't. So I'll put a note to myself on that.
Okay.
Yoel sent me an email saying he probably couldn't make it, which we know it's a bad time for him. He did say he had a couple of articles in the hopper, and he also encouraged us to contribute. I know we had another volunteer who wanted to, and this is in addition to the three, there was somebody else who's like, oh, I want a copy of it for Corrigo. And he was like, well, there has to be something for you to edit first. Why don't you contribute?
Yeah, that's the problem with doing a newsletter for people who are all editors.
Yeah, everybody wants to edit it. Nobody wants to write anything. So, yeah, well, and one of the students, I think two out of the three, or maybe all three of the volunteers that came in this week were students. So one of them did say, oh, they might want to write or edit for Corgo. And I said, well, you could still do that. I said, and take this other job, which is the watercolor chats. So that person might contribute there as well.
I'm still struggling to write a review of Dreyer's English.
Yeah, he did mention you at one point as saying that you were going to review that, that you might review that. So I'll see if you get around to that. So
I can't find a point of view, so I'm still fooling around with it.
Yeah. Okay.
600 words and none of them make sense yet.
Oh dear. So it's a hard read, is that what you're saying?
No, I just have a bad attitude.
Okay. Okay.
It can't decide whether it's a memoir or a style guide. That may be my opening sentence, I think. Okay, anyway.
There actually, if we do book reviews, and there's actually a I guess it's a novel. It's about like how one of the dictionaries was written, and it's a whole murder mystery.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah.
I'll see if I can. I know I made a note of it.
Yes.
And I'll see if I can find it and send you all the title of it.
Yeah.
I'm planning. I keep thinking I've got to get that, and I want to read it. But that might actually be a good one for a book review. That
would be.
And now you're making me think of a couple of books that I read. I can't remember the author right now, but they're not murder mysteries. I think they're just mysteries. But I don't know. It's novel. They're novels, and they're about a copy editor. Like she's the protagonist.
Oh,
really? You've got to send us that one. Yeah. I've got to know I got to see. Because I always
put it on my shelf the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I should do some." I mean, I read them; they were good, but
yeah, you've got to. I want to read those because I always joke that I'm in a profession where nobody ever is the main character in a novel or a TV show or something. So I want to read those.
Yeah. Okay. I made a note to myself that when I go home, I'll take pictures of them or something for you.
That would be fantastic.
They're relatively recent.
Okay. Yeah, I want to read those. Definitely. That would be great.
Yes. I see what you wrote there, Laura Lippman. Yeah, Lippman.
Lippman.
Those aren't the ones.
But, no. I was just adding to the list.
Yeah, that's good. That would be fun just to make a list of that. Writers and editors and novels.
See, but the thing is, in novels, even like you'll get the writer sometimes in a novel, but I've never read a novel or seen a novel about with the editor being the main character. That's why I got so excited.
Okay. Yeah. I'll I'll post that.
Yes.
I put the link to the CAA page on the website into chat.
Yeah. Thank you.
I actually found it for a change.
Right. Okay. Put that away for myself. Okay. So moving on with the social media manager, we've got this website. We're having a hard time having a meeting together, but I think we have something set for next week where we're going to try to discuss how to move forward with the website, because the one we have is just it's just terrible. I mean, it's nice that you can do the volunteer stuff within it, but it's just not attractive. It's really old-fashioned. I'd like to get us looking like other organizations and other chapters and SIGs and things. I don't know.
I know IDL's struggling with that too.
Yeah.
We're not happy with what we've got, but we're all kind of
too much going on. Yeah.
Change is hard.
Well, yeah. I think the hardest thing that we have with this is that the website's doing two things right now, which is this volunteer stuff and the, being our website. And so we have to find another solution for the volunteer side of things, because right now it's secure and you can log in and do your volunteer stuff. I mean, that's the WordPress option that STC provides doesn't have that.
No.
So we kind of
there's Google Docs, but
yeah.
And there's Slack.
Yeah, I get a little lost in Slack.
I am trying desperately to figure that one out. Yes.
That's about as user friendly as a porcupine.
That's what we need. We need Ben Welk to just start serving as a Slack consultant to everybody in STC.
Well, I think he
loves
formally does that, but
no.
He's got his plate full.
I know. He's got that little
President.
job called president, yeah. He started the Slack buzz, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I just find it's, to me, I mean, I would prefer going to Google Docs just because
Mhm.
things to me seem more organized than in Slack. You know, you can
Yeah, I
have,
would prefer Google Docs. I cannot figure Slack out. We started to use it or tried to use it for another organization I'm involved in, and all I can think is, really? What is this?
yeah. It's like a stream of
Understood.
consciousness. It just doesn't.
It offends our
really?
editorial
I think that's
viewpoint.
part
It
of
really
it.
does.
Yeah.
Who are all these people going off in all directions, you know?
Yeah, I think that's
We're
part
in
of it,
order here.
honestly. Yeah. And hopefully you guys saw we did the newsletter with MailChimp. I think that's looking a little better.
Hmm.
So at least he made some progress with that. And then the co-manager transitions, I should have deleted this. If I don't have it, I don't think I'm gonna get it at this point. And then the volunteer schedule, I set that October 10th. I don't know if that's going to be good for people or not, but
Why wouldn't it be?
it's the set time. So, well, I mean, today, look at us. It's just the three of us. Obviously, it didn't work for people, and I was thinking about trying to move it, and then it got too late. I didn't get to it. It was too late. So,
Well, then you've got to figure out, and what's the next time most of us can show up? I know it's
challenging.
It is. It is.
So, okay.
Well, I do appreciate y'all changing to this time because this way I can at least say, okay, you know, I have a lunchtime commitment on this day.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, and that's good for me too because I'm on a contract and I can say, oh, this is my lunchtime thing.
Hmm.
Whereas
I always
3
liked
o'clock,
that.
it's harder. So somebody can conceivably set up a meeting with you at 3 p.m. and it's not.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be, I mean, most people won't set up a meeting with you at lunchtime. At least the places I've worked.
Oh, the place I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina, they had no problem.
That's
And you
great.
go back and say, well, that's my lunchtime, though. But that was the only time you were free.
Well, that's when you make it not free.
Yes. Oh, got called down by the manager for doing that.
Really?
for scheduling your lunch on your calendar?
Yes, and I pointed out I'm a contractor, so they would have to pay me for that hour.
No.
And the tune changed.
Right.
You just got to know how to work with people. That's the whole.
Yeah.
They're
Fine.
meeting happy because everything's project driven in IT, and that's where I was. And
Yeah, that's where I am now.
yeah, 1,700 people at Blue Cross.
No, not there.
No, in IT.
IT. Yeah.
Don't recommend it.
It's interesting.
Well, considering what they do, their IT department is probably pretty key because, people, at least now, they're managing a lot of their own insurance stuff online. And so they're
Yes.
probably a huge part of what they do.
Well, they loaded in some monster mainframes and are very successfully hosting other Blue Cross entities. So they've got a money-making arm and then the Blue Cross nonprofit arm going on both. So somebody had some really good long-term thinking there.
Yeah.
So can I just ask, Marcia, is this the number that didn't work?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything that we were
I
talking
do
about?
not.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay. I'm
I'm good.
I'm done then. If you guys are done, I'm done. Yeah, we'll meet next month. If you need anything, let me know. Hopefully, I'll make some announcements via email about people coming on board as more volunteers, and hopefully, there'll be more people next time. So, thanks for showing
Keep a
up.
good thought.
Thank you.
Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
continuing to do your work. I haven't had a chance to look at your minutes, Fatma, but I will when I get a chance, because anything that comes during the day, like, it's suspect whether I can get to it or not. Sometimes I try to click on things. I'm like, oh yeah, they won't let me go there. So, but well, thank you. It was nice to talk to you both, and I'll be in
Nice
touch.
talking to you.
Good.
And I'll see if I can find that, if I can get that book title, and I'll send it to you all. And I'll probably tell Joel that I'm gonna read it and do a book review on it.
Yeah, you should tell him ahead of time, because he might be like, oh yeah, we already did that.
Yeah.
Or something. I want you to write a book review, and I have nowhere to put it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.